Hey, thank you for checking out another short devotion. Looking at the life of Peter the Padawan as he continues to study the Master and learn from him. And today we are looking at the devotion Nope, Nope, Nope. Kind of like Ducky in The Land Before Time, if you've ever seen that one. He was famous for that little phrase, Nope, Nope, Nope. Let me play it for you right here.
Nope, 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 nope.
And you can see why I can remember it. And this particular devotion, Peter finds himself in a similar situation of the triple nose, and it all started when the Roman guards, came to arrest Jesus, went to the garden. And Peter, if you remember from the Last Supper, told Jesus, I'll never betray you. I'll never deny you. I'll die for you, Jesus. And he was ready to make good on that promise. The Roman soldiers came in, and Peter pulled his weapon out, and he was ready to go. He was ready to die, and he attacked one of the guys. He cut the ear off, and you would think that all the Roman soldiers, all the Pharisaical guards, all those armed people that came to arrest Jesus was about to draw and just take Peter out. But Jesus quickly de-escalated the whole thing. He healed the guy that Peter attacked, and he looked at Peter and said, look, you're not going to accomplish anything with that sword except getting yourself killed. Put it away. And if I wanted to be rescued, I wouldn't even need you anyway. Snap my fingers. Legion of angels. Destroy everything. And you can imagine how Peter felt in that moment. I'm sure he was scared. I'm sure he was mad. I'm sure he was wondering if this had something to do with the lesson that Jesus taught him earlier about Peter, quit focusing on earthly things and focus on spiritual things. You remember when Jesus said, get behind me, Satan, talking to Peter? And you see really the same thing going on with Peter still focusing on defending earthly, temporary agendas. And Jesus said, no, we're not doing that here. And then you would imagine that Peter was frustrated that Jesus corrected him in front of all these enemies, all these other heathens, so to speak, for just trying to be a loyal friend. And maybe even Peter was questioning his entire relationship with Jesus. He just didn't know what's going on. So Peter ran, but he didn't run too far. He stayed close enough to watch what was happening. He stayed close enough to see them take Jesus into his first illegal trial. And he was close enough that the people who started wondering what was going on began to recognize him. And they said, hey, aren't you one of the guys that followed Jesus? And you think Peter's next move, according to his character, was like to stand up, be bold, fight, and say, yeah, man, I'm one of his followers. What's it to you? So you got a problem with it? You want a sword upside your head too? But Jesus had just corrected Peter about that attitude. So Peter was still reeling. So he went to his second automatic response. He lied. He said, no, I don't know him. And he did it over and over again. He did it 3 times. He did the whole nope, nope, nope. And then Peter remembered that Jesus has told him before the rooster crowed 3 times that Peter would deny him. Not only did Peter deny him, but he began to curse and swear that he had nothing to do with Jesus. And Peter's heart was destroyed. It was devastated. And it makes you ask the question, how come Peter was so bold one second and not the other? How come Peter was ready to take on a Roman army for one moment, and then the next moment, Peter couldn't even claim Jesus in front of a servant girl? And I believe the answer is sometimes it's easier to fight for temporary things. Sometimes it's easier to fight for things that we can see rather than to suffer for things that we cannot see. Sometimes it's easier to walk by sight rather than by faith. And this is a moment that Peter really had to walk by faith, because he could see Jesus. He could see his country, Israel. He could defend them, but he could not see what Jesus was up to at the moment. And you have to think that when Jesus asked Peter in Matthew 26, verse 53, or do you think I cannot? Peter must have been thinking, I know you can, but why aren't you? And it's in this moment of confusion that Peter could not rely on what he saw. He could not rely on his own understanding. It's in this moment that Peter needed to trust Jesus, trust God, and allow his faith in the unseen and the unknown give him the strength to stand. But Peter was not ready. Peter had not done the work to transition from that attitude of walking by faith rather than by sight. And I just want this to challenge us today to walk by faith, to stand by faith, to obey by faith. A lot of times our circumstances will really, more times than not, appear to contradict what we believe. And in those times, praise Jesus anyway. Trust Jesus anyway. Serve Jesus anyway. For it is written in Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 6, to trust in the Lord with every piece of your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. Demonstrate God's authority in your life with each action and each word. And He promises to direct and guide your path. It's this kind of faith that can protect us from sounding like Peter and protect us from the nopes. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If you got something on your heart you want to pray about, feel free to call us. We'd love to hear from you. Love you. Have a great day.